So who are all these characters in Birds of Prey? Maybe you just saw the movie and want to know more, or maybe you just want some background info on the characters before going in. Either way, this video will give you a brief introduction to the main characters in the film. This is Exasperated Nerd Explains. The semi-titular character, Harley Quinn, is being played by Margot Robbie after appearing as the character in Suicide Squad. Harley began life as Harleen Quinzel, a psychiatrist. She began treating the Joker and, violating all levels of professional conduct and good decision-making, fell in love with her patient. And then, in the films at least, fell into a vat of chemicals affecting her the same way as the Joker. She began dressing up as a Harlequin and, conveniently enough, was able to shorten her name to Harley Quinn to suit the persona. She actually first appeared in the Batman animated TV series before making her way to the comics. She is known for her humor, and while still being crazy, is usually a little more sympathetic and not as homicidally evil as her counterpart. After finding success and popularity as Joker's girlfriend or second in command, she has broken away from the Joker and into her own adventures, where she is pretty much over him as a love interest and is off doing her own thing. Renee Montoya, also first appearing in the Batman animated TV series, is a police officer for the Gotham City Police Department. Since her character's creation, she has appeared steadily in the comics as both a uniformed officer and a detective in the Major Crimes Unit. She eventually takes over the guise of the Question after the previous owner dies. She doesn't receive powers per se, just the dead man's clothes and mask, which contain a special gas built into the belt buckle, which changes the color of the clothes, her hair, and most importantly, makes the mask appear to be a featureless face. It certainly hides the identity, but ruins any chance of blending in. As the Question, she would investigate various wrongdoings on her own. This character made her first live-action appearance as a GCPD officer on the Gotham TV show. Black Canary has been around since debuting in Flash Comics in 1947, and with DC being in a perpetual state of expanding and collapsing multiverse reboots, there have been a lot of variations. She started out as Dinah Drake, a superhero, but didn't have her trademark superpower, an ultrasonic scream, known as the Canary Cry, for a number of years. She marries Larry Lance, changing her name to Dinah Lance, which may sound more familiar to modern fans. In the 80s, to essentially explain being around since, the 40s, but still running around fighting bad guys, the Black Canary character is retconned into being Dinah Laurel Lance, daughter of the original character. Since then, there have been so many reboots and retcons that legacy characters have kind of gone away, so don't bother trying to track or calculate the age of the character. She often ends up dating or married to the Green Arrow. She has made several live-action appearances, first in two Legends of the Superheroes TV specials in 1979 and the short-lived Birds of Prey TV show, before regularly appearing on Arrow. Huntress is another one of those characters that has been around in the comics for a bit and naturally has a complicated history, multiple characters taking on the role. One of these is Helena Wayne, the daughter of Batman and Catwoman. How does that work exactly? Well, most of her stories take place not in the primary comic book universe's continuity, but on Earth 2. She began fighting crime after a criminal blackmailed her mother back into a life of crime, and eventually her death. She was well trained as an athlete by her parents, and is known for using a crossbow in battle. This is actually the current incarnation of Huntress that is appearing in the comics, having been transported over from her home universe. Helena Bertinelli is another version of the character that premiered in the 80s and held the name until the New 52 reboot in 2011. She pretty much dresses the same and still uses a crossbow, but is the daughter of a mob boss instead. This allowed DC to bring her into the main continuity after a crisis event basically erased Earth 2 from existence, at least for a while. Like Black Canary, she had live-action appearances in Legends of the Superheroes and the Birds of Prey TV show before having a small reoccurring role on Arrow. Cassandra Cain was introduced in Batman in 1999 and is one of several characters to have gone by the name Batgirl. In the current comics, she's going by Orphan, because the Batgirl name is taken.
We are all orphans.
The daughter of two assassins, David Cain and Lady Shiva, she was trained from birth to be the best assassin, focusing solely on developing those skills, rendering her mute and illiterate. but being able to read people's next moves and emotions through body language. Through this, she learned people kind of don't like to be assassinated, and she ran away from that life. She eventually winds up working with Batman, and a telepath basically gives her the ability to speak. She has been Batgirl, had a brief fling with villainy leading the League of Assassins, been a nameless vigilante, and also gone by Black Bat. As Orphan, she is currently working with the Bat family and is one of their best fighters. Black Mask, or Roman Sionis, is showing up as the primary villain in this movie. His parents were part of the social elite in Gotham City and cared more about their social standing than their son, forcing young Roman to befriend Bruce Wayne to maintain their status despite disliking the family. His parents owned a cosmetics company and hired him to work for them. He had a contentious relationship with them and eventually burned down their mansion, killing them. As one does, he carved his skull mask out of the casket of his father and became a ruthless crime lord. He delights in torture and created the False Face Society because he's a fan of masks and developing a theme for his gangster activities. He's later shot in the face and killed by Catwoman, but it's comics, so he gets better. In the current comic book continuity, he appears to have a split personality, with Roman being separate from his Black Mask persona. And now his mask also apparently has limited mind control and hypnosis powers. Victor Zsaz is also appearing in the film at some point, though I don't know in what capacity or if it's a large role, as I didn't realize he was even in the thing until I began working on this video. I didn't see anyone who recognizably looks like him in the trailers, because he is a serial killer who carves a tally mark into his skin for each of his kills, so he's usually pretty easy to pick out in a crowd. His MO is to kill people and then leave them posed in lifelike positions, but he also has no qualms sprinkling in some regular old murder too, making him erratic and unpredictable. On the Gotham TV show, he appeared as an assassin instead of a serial killer, where he also was notably missing his scars. There could be some other relevant characters showing up in the movie, but that's all I'm aware of until I see it. For those who have seen the movie, what did you think? From the trailers, Cassandra Cain's character looks like the greatest departure from the comic books, but we will see how it all turns out. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like or a share. Check out my other videos, a lot of it's related to comic books. Thanks for watching. Bye.